Think you've seen everything in Terminator 2D No Fate? Well, maybe not. This game is packed with hidden references, movie homages, and secrets that only the most observant players will notice. Today, I'm going to show you the 7 best Easter eggs in Terminator 2D No Fate. Some are so well hidden that even the most dedicated fans might have missed them. I'm Matthew, and the video is about to start. Man, there's a detail in Terminator 2 No Fate that caught me totally by surprise. You know that classic bar scene where the T-800 walks in, stares down the bikers, and drops the famous line, "I need your clothes, your boots, and your motorcycle." Well, the developers decided to play with that iconic moment in a genius way. If you stop following the fight script for a second and interact with the jukebox in the corner of the bar, it plays Bad to the Bone. Yes, the exact same song from Arnold's legendary introduction in the movie. This is the kind of thing that shows how the game was made by real fans. They didn't have to put that detail there. No one would have complained if the jukebox was just part of the background. But the fact that it's there, and with the right song, is the kind of reward that only appears for those who make a habit of exploring everything. It's almost like the game is winking at you, saying, "You know this movie, right?" The most curious thing is how it changes the atmosphere of the scene. The whole game already has a retro, intense, arcade action vibe, but when Bad to the Bone starts playing, everything feels even more cinematic. You feel that same impact as the first time you saw Arnold taking over the entire bar with that cold, unbeatable look. It's a direct bridge between cinema and gaming, and you can feel the devs' respect for the original work. I love it when an Easter egg manages not just to make a reference, but also to fit into the game's universe. Here, it doesn't break the immersion. On the contrary, it gives the scene more personality. Instead of being just an introductory fight, it becomes an almost iconic moment within the game itself. It's as if the game says, "We know what this song means to you." These details are what make me revisit certain games just to look for more secrets. Terminator 2 No Fate does this masterfully. It brings nostalgia without depending on it. And when a simple jukebox can reignite everything that movie represented, you realize you're playing something made with much more heart than it seems at first glance. I love it when a game does this kind of thing because it's not just a hidden cheat menu, it's a direct nod to the people who like to poke around every corner. In Terminator 2D No Fate, this Easter egg has a very retro vibe, as if the game is saying, "Okay, you're from the team that messes with options just to see what happens." The detail of it being in the accessibility menu is what gets me the most. Usually, accessibility is that serious part of the menu where you adjust things to play better and that's it. Then the guys go and put a secret right there, as if it were a reward for those who truly explore everything, and at the same time, a clever way to keep the trick somewhat off the radar. And the method itself is perfect, toggling the CRT shader up and down quickly several times. This feels a lot like those old arcade and cartridge legends, like do this sequence in the menu and magic happens. I can imagine someone discovering this by accident, just testing the CRT aesthetic, and suddenly realizing they unlocked something that shouldn't be there. Once you unlock the secret cheat menu, it becomes a party. Infinite lives completely change the game's vibe. It's not just about being invincible for the sake of it. It's about opening up space to test routes, practice difficult sections without frustration, try an absurd run just for fun, and even play at making the game look like a non-stop action movie, the way T2 demands. And yes, let's be honest, it also makes trophies and some achievements easier, and I don't think that's necessarily wrong. To me, a well-hidden cheat like this becomes a play-it-your-way option. Those who want to suffer will ignore it, and those who want to see everything, experiment, and do insane runs will embrace it. If this secret was placed on purpose, I read it as a love letter to the community, and I respect that attitude a lot. Man, this is the type of Easter egg that surprises me to this day. Terminator 2D No Fate is one of those games that hides secrets in the shadows, and the 9 Skynet continues are a perfect example of that. Each one is so well placed that it feels like a loyalty test for the most curious player, almost as if Skynet itself is watching to see who is worthy of a second chance. The first one I found was in the desert town level, behind some breakable boards. I remember I was just experimenting with the environment's physics, trying to see how far the destruction went, and suddenly, there it was, the shining symbol. It was that, wait, what is this? Moment, followed by an absurd sense of reward. From then on, it became impossible not to scour every corner of the maps, even the most unlikely places. The most interesting thing is how the game never tells you these continues exist. No explicit hints, no hidden markers. It's almost a silent pact between the player and the game itself. If you want to discover everything, you need to pay attention, explore, fail, and try again. And that is the pure spirit of old school games. That pleasure in searching the scenery for something no one else saw. Collecting all 9 continues isn't just a challenge, it's like a journey of discovery within the narrative of No Fate. The name Skynet Continues isn't there for nothing. It seems like Skynet always finds a way to survive, no matter how many times you destroy it. It's a subtle touch of lore hidden under the hood of a simple reward mechanic. And of course, the fact that collecting them all guarantees the Skynet Secret Finder trophy and unlocks extras for future runs gives a real reason to replay. It's that perfect incentive for those who love hunting secrets, and honestly, one of the smartest additions to the game. These details show how Terminator 2D No Fate understands the fans, not just with solid action, but also with mysteries that make the world feel more alive and connected. This difficulty Easter egg is exactly the kind of thing I love to discover. It's not just an extra mode in the menu, it's the game looking you in the eye and saying, alright, now prove you've actually learned. When you unlock these variants, like very hard, you can feel the game turn into a different beast, because it's not just more damage and more enemies, it's a change in mindset. The no health pickups detail is cruel in the right way. It cuts that safety net we use without realizing, so every mistake becomes a scar you carry until the end of the stage. And then the rhythm changes completely. You start to value positioning, timing, resource management, and even those micro decisions that you wouldn't think twice about on normal mode. And the S ranks come in as a delicious provocation, because surviving isn't enough. The game wants you to win with style, consistency, and control. To me, a high rank in these modes isn't just a score, it's like a signature, a way of saying, I understand the system, I master the stage, I know how to handle the chaos. The coolest part is that this isn't just about the difficulty number. There are special visuals and behavioral changes, like more aggressive enemies, that give it that alternate reality feel. You know the stage, but it responds to you differently. It's almost like revisiting a scene from the movie in a different cut. The same pieces, but with a different tension, weight, and urgency. And this talk of extras in future runs is what makes it all even more worthwhile, because it gives it a real sense of a career. Every attempt isn't just practice, it's real progress. I like it when the game rewards persistence without giving you things for free. It gives you content, but demands maturity. It's the kind of secret that transforms a game you beat into a game you inhabit. Man, this Easter egg in Terminator 2 No Fate is one of those surprises that hits home for anyone who truly knows the story behind the movies. When I saw that Michael Edwards, the actor who appears briefly as adult John Connor in Sarah's Dream in T2, shows up here as General Connor, it was like a punch of nostalgia and respect. It's a small detail for those who don't know, but for those who live in this universe, it's a very smart and emotional nod. The most interesting thing is how the game uses this to expand the lore without needing to reinvent anything. Edwards appearing as General John Connor in the future war missions makes it feel like that glimpse from the movie finally gained substance and context. It's as if the game says, remember that dream? Well, here's what came after. This connects the game directly to the cinematic legacy, and that carries huge emotional weight for those who grew up with T2. And the best part is that his performance is understated and mature, with that energy of a war-weary leader who still believes in the resistance. He's not the classic hero, He's a man carrying the weight of his decisions. And this nuance adds a surreal depth to the missions set in the future. You're not just shooting at machines, you're fighting alongside the legend who inspired it all. The fact that this appears as an Easter egg, and not as an explicit part of the main campaign, makes everything sound more natural and rewarding. It's the kind of thing only those who pay attention will notice. It's almost as if the game whispers to you, there's more story here than it seems. It's a gift for those who like to poke around and understand the soul of the universe. And when the game mentions extras in future runs, it gets me excited because it suggests that this cameo might evolve, like new dialogues, extra missions, or even variations with General Connor reacting to how you play. This kind of progression makes the game feel alive, constantly building. And seeing such an iconic character finally getting the spotlight he deserved, man, that's fan service done with care and purpose. This Easter egg involving the chip choice and alternate endings is one of those moments that make you realize how much the game goes beyond just action. At first glance, it seems like just a technical reference, you know, messing with the T-800's chip as part of the lore. But in practice, it's a decision with real moral and emotional weight. It's rare to see a 2D game handling consequences in such a cinematic way, and it caught me by surprise. The connection between the T-800's chip and Miles Dyson's fate is genius, because it ties together two crucial points of the story, the humanity within the machines and the responsibility of humans in creating Judgment Day. The decisions you make in these moments totally change the direction of the narrative, creating branches that make you think, did I really do the right thing? And the game doesn't even need to give you long speeches for this to work. It's all told through subtleties in animation, behavior, and the tone of the following missions. The good and bad endings are almost a mirror of the Terminator theme itself, fate versus free will. The good ending isn't necessarily happy, and the bad one isn't just total destruction. They balance in a gray area where your choices define who learned from the past and who repeated the mistakes. It's a type of storytelling that rewards multiple runs and turns every decision into a real point of tension. And then comes Chapter 13, the extra level that only opens depending on your choices. Man, this is the type of challenge that separates those who simply played from those who truly understood the spirit of the game. It is brutal, almost punishing, but incredibly satisfying. It's as if the game says, you saw the end, now survive the consequence. The atmosphere and pacing of this chapter are breathtaking. In the end, this Easter egg made me respect the whole project even more. It shows a rare care in uniting mechanics and narrative in a way that truly makes sense within the Terminator universe. And knowing that simple decisions, like messing with a chip, can change the fate of humanity and unlock secret content is the kind of thing that makes us want to replay, just to explore every possible path. These 3 hidden assault rifles in Terminator 2D No Fate are the kind of secrets that make you feel like a true hunter within the game. The feeling of finally finding one of these weapons after exploring every corner of a stage is almost addictive. The cool thing is that the game doesn't hand you anything on a silver platter. It expects you to observe, suspect, and test. It's that kind of reward that only appears for those who play with attention, not just those who rush to the objective. The first one, hidden behind the glass display in level 1, is a touch of genius. It's the kind of place that looks purely decorative, and that's exactly where the game tests you. You need to think like a survivor, not like a player following a script. The sound of the glass shattering and the rifle falling to the floor completely changes the level's vibe. Suddenly, you stop being just another one on the front line and start feeling the power to turn the game in your favor. The second rifle, right at the beginning of level 2, rewards those who relearn how to look at the environment. It's that moment where the experience of the first run counts. You understand the patterns better, remember alternative routes, and start exploring with purpose. The game shows that hiding secrets early isn't just about fun, but about teaching the player to be curious. This type of design transforms exploration into learning. And the mythical third rifle in that specific level X is almost legendary among players. Many don't even believe it exists until they see it. When you finally find it, usually after following a tip on the forums or risking unlikely paths, it feels like you've discovered a secret code from the game itself. And with the 3 weapons together, facing the bosses becomes another spectacle. The encounters, which were previously pure survival, become duels of pure efficiency. Unlocking the Find Assault Rifles title is just the symbolic closing of this whole hunt. The real prize is the journey of trial and error, the pleasure of deeply exploring every pixel and realizing that the game rewards you for it. You can feel that the devs place these weapons as a kind of gratitude secret for those who dive deep into the game. It's that kind of detail that doesn't just change the gameplay, but also the relationship you build with the game, as an accomplice, a discoverer.